So the feds were not playing with Mahito, gang. Turns out Maru was not really asking and took a page out of Kenjaku's playbook. Marulu, I apologize, brother. I was not familiar with your game. Bro, why didn't Mahito just take the plea deal in KFC? I have never seen an arbitration more rigged in my life. If Judgman were presented with the minutes of this arbitration, he would charge both Maru and Yuji with 3 counts of felony racketeering at least. These feds nowadays, sheesh! They make little girls with stage 4 cancer participate in interstellar Davy backfires for the fashion over here. This is not 2018, bro. We let this kind of room temperature IQ slide when bro was like 4 months old. But not today, buddy. Not today. So Mahito's bad day picks up where we left off, and Maru's technique can impose the concept of subjugation through a ritual. I use the term very loosely, as said ritual begins with the solemn lift and ends with the sanctified rite. Not only that, Maru was able to temporarily restore Mahito's bag, as he is currently cut off from his source of curse energy whilst he inhabits the curse realm. That particular concept is meaningless to Maru also. Mahito was not only at full power. Unlike transfigured human stocks that can run out, the curse realm provides Mahito with infinite ammo, as the particles in the curse realm have a special constitution similar to the soul. Maru can seemingly subjugate anyone and is not limited to cursed spirits like Suguru Geto, with one exception of course. What am I even looking at right now, bro? It's time to have uncomfortable conversations about Maru and Cross's technique. The power scalers don't have to argue about Sukuna versus other verses anymore. Next time the block gets hot, we're sending in our 99 overall draft lottery pick, Chaos in Order. This new generation is just belts different. Speaking of, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? We went from this in the previous volume to this in the current volume. Let me know in the comments if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So Maru was more than willing to subjugate Mahito with his own hands, but Yuji insisted on handling Mahito instead. This left me confused for a couple of reasons, because didn't Yuji say he would let the youngins see this through on their own and only clean up if they fail? Maru was more than capable of stomping Mahito, and I'm sure Yuji knows as much. So why does Maru get a pass and Yuka does not? Bro, what on earth happened between the Rika and Yuji scenes in chapter 21? What Yuji says and his actions are not in alignment. I totally get what Yuta said back when he executed Yuji. Gang, am I tripping, or is Yuji's character approaching Satoru Gojo levels of nuance? But more on that later. So naturally, Mahito decided he would not take this level of disrespect and threw the first punch. Since the curse realm is basically soul dust, Mahito transfigures their surroundings to mimic Shibuya. He was so salty that getting his leg back would not satisfy him unless he smoked Yuji exactly where Yuji smoked him. Gege's pen is on fire right now, because in just 2 panels you can tell Mahito has been fantasizing about this moment for damn near 70 years. But this is where reality went downhill for Mahito very quickly. Remember how every particle in this realm is a target and extension of Idle-Transfiguration. Mahito seems to have forgotten what happened with Sukuna and proceeds to touch Yuji's soul. This bright idea was spurred by the impulse to make Yuji appear his age again, and it backfired spectacularly. It's important to note these are not dismantles. Yuji did not send out any slashes. Like Sukuna inside self-embodiment of perfection, Yuji countered Mahito's touch with cleaves. This whole page is a result of Mahito touching a forbidden soul. Since Mahito's touch extended to the curse realm, the realm was also cleaved. When I mentioned room temperature IQ earlier, this is what I was referring to. Yuji let Mahito pack himself out like Satoru did Hanami, basically. Yuji was not done paying homage to Satoru as he asked if Mahito was always this weak. Young Yuji would have been like, bro, that's what you call weak? I'm telling you, man, that jacket is not for the fashion. Yuji is hiding 20 fingers worth of curse energy, but that's not even the problematic part for him. Yuji reeks of Satan himself, but somehow worse. Yuji's curse energy properties are a mix of Sukuna's and a curse. To some degree, Satoru could move around as he pleases without the hoodie. but Yuji may cause a satanic panic like his grandfather in those who can perceive curse energy. Ironically, the nicest guy has the most evil presence on earth currently, and I'm gonna die on that hill. So after Yuji subdues his old op, Maru then changes the shape of Mahito's soul to a form that's convenient, as he enslaves Mahito and the arbitration continues. So we're currently exploring two options to eradicate curse spirits. The first is to remove curse energy from the Japanese born henceforth. The second option is to turn every Japanese born henceforth into a sorcerer. Both options come with their own laundry list of problems. In the case of option 1, first off, removing curse energy from those predestined for exceptional jujutsu will cause more heavenly restrictions like Toji to pop up. The surface level problem with this is those physically gifted may just be as problematic as the influx of new sorcerers, so they go with option number 2. Only since said chosen ones are few and far between, they collectively have less potential for societal harm than option 2 where everyone is a sorcerer. The more pervasive problem with option number 1 is, since Almighty removes his curse energy in humans, there's still a chance vengeful curse spirits pop up. Curse energy is a universal system in JJK as evidenced by the Cimmerians. It is a natural fabric of JJK's universe as the carbon isotope is to ours. Whether or not humans consent, the laws of curse energy and fate still govern. And the law states that he who is murdered without curse energy may get his leg back as a vengeful curse if salty enough. In fact, I would argue everyone on earth being a non-sorcerer would create more vengeful curse spirits. And since Yuji and Maru will have disarmed humanity, with Toji's kids who can handle curse spirits being few and far between, the situation could easily escalate to the age of curses for real. The third problem with option 1 is Earth has knowledge of interstellar sorcerers now. If Yuji and Maru go through with this, Earth will virtually be defenseless against known threats like the Deskunte. Who's to say that there isn't another nonsensical technique like Maru's, Wiwi's, or Kirara on Cimmeria that can locate any one of the 50,000 Cimmerians that vanished from the planet? Who is to say that Deskunte Chieftain is not salty enough? We don't even know how his curse works or if he's unable to track Karaba and his sister through the curse. You just know they've turned the planet inside out searching for Karaba. I mean, we got to understand that Deskunte Chieftain used the curse on Karaba to protect himself, just so Karaba cannot challenge him for the position of Chieftain as per Deskunte tradition. It stands to reason he also used Karaba to eliminate Deskunte, who also posed a threat to his seat. Without Karaba, the old goon must be beside himself without his deterrent, because these youngins are coming for his head for real. As if he needed more motivation to get active, the Mal Karaba and the Romelians made off with elevate the Deskunte to a wildly credible threat in my opinion. The fourth problem with option number 1 is Yuji would have to exercise a special grade curse spirit named Shuiesha first. It was quite ballsy of Maru to throw in Shueisha's pockets in their own magazine and get away with it. From the 80th floor, they clapped my shit all the way over in the YouTube void for way less. The fifth problem with option number 1 is Mal can convert and amplify curse energy into other forms like electric. Bro, what am I doing? What are we doing? Option 1 is not gonna happen. It's a terrible idea. I don't know if option number 2 is what they will go with in the end, but I just know it won't be option number 1. I won't even bother and speculate on a third or alternate route. I just know option 1 ain't it. Putting that aside for now, are we just gonna ignore Yuji admitting he'll self-delete in 300 years or so? For those that have defended Yuji's headspace, I would love to hear how this is healthy. Like the rest of us, Yuji has no way of objectively knowing when his heart will stop. That's just not how life works. Unless Yuji consulted Charles and he peaked past a few seconds and 300 years into the future. Yuji has no way of knowing when he'll pass on, just like the rest of us. He cannot experience a natural death. Yuji is immortal. Not invincible, but he is immortal. If Yuji knew exactly when his body would give in, then why doesn't he know if he will have aged by then? You feel what I'm saying? If you can convince me that this does not read like a self-delete note, then please unburden me. I am troubled by Yuji's current mental state. We need Yuka, bro. We need her like yesterday. Yuka is the only one who can knock some sense into our boy. She may literally slap him once she hears him out, not gonna lie. I am curious how Yuji feels about his father. Now that he's about to replicate his father's sin that was committed on him at birth with the rest of humanity. Yuji's character is being deconstructed once more and I'll be here to dissect it. Catch me on the next one, gang.